welcome to Communicate with Impact. Today, my guest is lovely Pallavi Mehra. Hi, Pallavi, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me as a guest to your show.
Pleasure is mine, Pallavi. Pallavi, could you please introduce yourself for my lovely audience?
For sure. But before I begin, I would like to congratulate you on your new project. With all the platforms, all your platforms that you're doing, you are inspiring a lot of people and you're imparting valuable knowledge. And of course, I'm honored to be the first guest on your podcast. So, talking about myself, I'm based out in Canada and I'm currently working as an organizational change management lead, which deals into a tech company, and my client is a pharmaceutical giant based out of US. So organizational change management is each and every organization goes through different phases of change. And especially if you talk about banking sector or IT sector or all the multinational companies, right? There's something or the other changing, like change is evident. So when there is a change, we need to inform that to the users, to the end users, to our employees. So that's my role. That's what I do. And I'm currently based out of Canada, Toronto.
Interesting. You're absolutely right that change is evident. That's one hard pill that we need to digest, and the sooner we do it, it's better. Thank you, Pallavi, for that introduction. And now let's move on to I have a bunch of questions, and I'm going to say that again. So tell me, most of the people that I've met, they have a bigger challenge of managing their day-to-day life, right? Like, especially we hear this word work-life balance a lot, all right? And people do not understand how to handle their work within a confined 8 hours in a day, okay? I do understand that people have to work sometimes beyond that, but I'm curious to know, how do you plan your day? Let's take a typical day for you, and if you can please share what you do the whole day.
Right, sure. Thanks for the question. So this is a very important part to start your day with a proper plan. Planning is very important because it helps you motivate yourself for the rest of the day, right? So what I do is at the beginning of my day, I just give myself 5 to 10 minutes wherein I make a plan, I make a to-do list of what are the tasks. I section them according to the importance, the high importance task and the lower important tasks. And accordingly, I also section the bigger tasks and the smaller tasks. So this helps me to segregate the tasks accordingly, avoid confusions, and also to understand how much time do I need to invest in each and every task. And apart from this, I also use some productivity tools like MS Viva Insights or your MS Bookings, MS To-Do to filter my requirements and understand what am I investing in my day. So yes, this is how I start my typical day as.
That's interesting. I like the thought process of how you can, of course, break it down and understand, tasks which are priority. And of course, yes, tools do help in some area. So let me ask you some more interesting questions that I get from people. One of the questions come up is that, regarding office politics. Now, that is a very, very, how should I put it? It's a very, very challenging word itself, right? Because it has the word politics in it, right?
Politics.
So what is your definition, or what do you think of office politics? And what are your advice on how to handle it?
Right. So what I think is that office politics prevails everywhere, in each and every organization, at each and every level of an organization. We can't totally avoid office politics because it is going to stay, right? But what we can do is we can be very tactful while handling office politics. So, some suggestions would be maintaining healthy relationships with everyone in the office, like your colleagues or, people you're working with or people you are interacting with on daily life. So this can, to some extent, lessen the impact of office politics on you. And apart from that, you can have everything written. So what I believe is written communication is very important. So whenever you're communicating with, say, your manager or your client, emphasize on written communication. Send out emails. If someone is telling you verbally, hey, you know what? let's postpone this meeting or this work for tomorrow. Say, that's okay. Thank you so much for informing me. But could you please send out an email for the same? So when we ask someone to send out an email of the same, we are on the safe side. So if someone comes and points out to us stating that, you know what, this person just declined the meeting invite, or this person said that let's move the meeting to tomorrow. So we are at the safer end. And lastly, what we should do is we should, again, as I said, we should tactfully handle and manage the office politics. It should be professional. We shouldn't retaliate the way they are throwing things at us. We should retaliate the office politics in a very tactful way. So, I mean, a very interesting fun fact is what I remember. We were doing an event for a client in Goa, and one of the office colleagues, he got kind of intimidated by the profile and the role that I was given during that day. Because he wanted that role, he wanted that profile, he wanted to interact a lot with the client, but I was taking care of that role. So office politics usually comes out of jealousy, you know, someone wants to be in your shoes, so that's where it initiates from. So he just went up to like our senior manager and he's like, you know what, this thing wasn't supposed to be this way, but this is happening this way. So I just opened my email with my manager. I went up to the senior manager and I said, see, everything that I'm doing is according to the plan. Everything was planned in this way. The itinerary is this, and we are doing as things were planned. So that way, because I had written communication with me, I avoided office politics in a very tactful manner. I never retaliated to that person, but again, I did answer him in a very professional way. So I guess this is what people should do when they face office politics.
That's a very, very interesting example, because the scenario you just mentioned, you know, your own scenario, it actually relates to many, you know, in different ways.
Right.
And I think the key takeaway here is that you don't have to retaliate or come back to others in a very emotional manner. Just do it in a professional way, or you said as a tactful way. And one of the way is to handle is to get things on email, so that, you know, when things happen, when things go for worse later on, at least you have certain things documented. But yeah, it's nice. Thanks for your opinion on office politics and that narration of that story or scenario. All right, so I want to move on to the next question. And by the way, I have the questions here written up here. So my next question, because these are a few key questions, like I said, you know, from hundreds of people across.
Right.
The next one is, and I see this very common, is you have, you know, it's a challenge of how to deal with your senior management or stakeholders, right? Everyone has somebody up to the level of CEO. In fact, they have the board of directors to talk about shareholders and other stakeholders. So everyone at any given point in time has certain senior managers. And I want to ask you that if you have any suggestions on how to build confidence, to talk to them, to take your ideas to them, to take those ugly, non-happy stuff and share it with them, you know, how to build that confidence.
So, I mean, of course, talking to senior management can be intimidating for a lot of people, but a little homework and, you know, preparation before presenting them, like preparing yourselves before going to them or before meeting them, can tackle this situation easily. So, whenever you are meeting senior management, because my work involves communicating with people from across the organization. It is from, you know, your new joinees to your CEO. I have to communicate with everyone. So whenever you're going to senior management, just do your homework and have your facts and factuals ready. Because what are they concerned with? They won't go, or they won't get into micromanaging you, because they don't micromanage. They have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of things to do, right? So rather than micromanaging, if you just present them with facts and factuals, and if you are confident enough about your ideas, confidence will follow. Confidence will follow, and you have to be very firm with your tone. So if you're good with your tone, if you are very much confident within your idea and you have your facts and factuals ready, you present it on the table and you say, hey, this is what it is, and this is what we are doing, and this is my idea. I think this idea will work for all these reasons, and that's the reason we should go with this strategy rather than following this strategy. So the first and foremost thing of building confidence is self-confidence. If you're not confident about your idea, no matter what you do, tables are not going to turn. But if you are confident about your idea, you can turn tables around the world. This is what people do. This is what leaders do, I would say.
That's very interesting that you just mentioned that, people need to get their facts and factuals ready. Basically, they need to believe in not only themselves, but on their idea that they want to present. I understand this. Here's a quick question for you, Pallavi. What happens is that people whom I meet, they're brilliant when it comes to technical aspects, right? But they know their idea. They know that it works. But the problem that they have is that, of course, they're not confident in some way, but they are sometimes not confident on how to present. Okay, because they are so overwhelmed by these amazing presentations that, probably the MBAs share and so on, that they feel that they don't know how to present. Do you have any tips on that, on how exactly they can present, to enhance their confidence?
Of course. So first and foremost thing is learning is a lifelong process, right? When we know that we are into a professional or any stream or any field, any sector, any industry, we have to present. At some point in time, we need to present. Even a banker, a teller at the bank, he presents to the people who come to him, right? So that's also presentation skill. And everyone at each stage of their life is presenting something or the other. So if you want to build confidence while presenting or your ideas, so what you need to do is research a lot about your topic, what you need to present, right? Research about ideas in which you can create a presentation. And the most important thing is build self-confidence. And how are you going to do that? You can do mirror practice. Stand in front of mirror, talk, understand your gestures, understand your facial expressions, understand the way people are going to look at you. Then go to someone, like anyone, and start presenting the same idea to them. Start rehearsing in front of them. So what happens is, not everyone will praise you. There will be critics as well. So when critics throw questions at you, that is a self-improvisation stage, wherein you improvise based on the pointers which they have thrown at you. Like some people will be like, you know what? Your presentation was great. You were very good in terms of enacting or presenting it as well. But your tone was not intimidating. Your tone was not proper. You at some points you need to stress on, say, sales pitch, or you need to stress on digital media, or you need to stress on, say, social media or the likes. So all these things are the variations. So the more you practice in front of different people from different walks of life, you will get different responses. And through that responses, it is always a learning process. So never get demotivated because of that. You know what? Oh my God, 10 people said that you can't do anything. But that's okay. Still, you can do it. So because of those 10 people, you are going to brush up your skills. You are going to enhance your skills. So that is what it is. So, I mean, giving you an example of this, so Mr. Adani is the second richest man of the world now, right? So I love reading. I love reading, and he belongs from India. So I was just reading. I was just going through his profile. So I mean, I went through his profile long back, but again, like today, I was just reading about him becoming the second richest person across the world. So he was a dropout. He was a college dropout, but he owns a business, and he owns so many businesses. He is the second richest man in the world. So it is not about your studies. It is not about, which educational background you come from. Language is never a hindrance. We can easily learn languages. So a lot of people be like, oh, you know what? I'm not good at English. But that's a language. You can enhance that. But the thing is, there should be self-confidence. There should be a lot of practice, a lot of rehearsing, a lot of back and forth, a lot of criticizing coming your way. But you should overpower all of them, and then you will outshine. So a lot of people who are ruling the world these days, some were college droppers, some were dropouts, but that's a mixture of things. So people can't a lot of people also blame their destiny. So destiny works with you if you work towards the destiny. You make your destiny. It's not about destiny coming to you. Sometimes you create your path towards the destiny, is what I believe.
Very, very interesting. I like if the destiny thing. I like many things, but I think if I summarize it, well, you're absolutely right, and I agree. Of course, I agree on these points. Is that you need to practice self-confidence is not something that you go to a medical shop and buy a pill and next day you're amazing.
Or it comes in a day. It never comes in a day.
Yeah.
It takes years, or it takes months to practice that.
True. No, I think that's a good thing, because now people should focus on, learning how to present, learning to get feedback and improve on that, improvise on their questions that are thrown to them, tonality, and many aspects that you just shared. So thanks for sharing that, because it is quite detailed now for people to understand, what all things they can work upon. Fantastic. You also mentioned about digital and other things, right? Because so now my another question is regarding the digital age. So post-COVID, one of the things that we have learned is that it's going to be like this, okay?
Right.
We're going to be on the system looking at the little camera hole and probably talking, right? And let's face it, it's also in a way better, because now you can connect with anybody anywhere and you don't have to spend a lot of dollars in that sense, right? And it's easier with the phones and the technology. Right. So my question is, what are your suggestions to communicate effectively in this new era of digital age?
Right. So, I mean, definitely technology is a boon, and digitalization has turned out to be a bigger boon to humanity during COVID, post-COVID. Or if digitalization wouldn't have been at place, a lot of people would have been jobless. But people were working. Like, never a normal human would have imagined that we would have the liberty to work from home one day. So digitalization has made, like, there is a terminology for this, global village. The world is a global village now due to digitalization, right? So, I mean, applications like Zoom, MS Whiteboard, or the meeting that we are doing today, right? That is because of digitalization. So we open WhatsApp, we just call our family members, we call our friends, we can video call with them. So with this, I think communication has become a lot easier, because people are across the globe. So with me, my role, I have to work with a lot of teams, and some of my teams are like in India, some are in Germany, some people are in UK, some are in US, so some are like Singapore. So we have to communicate with people across the globe, but that is only possible because of digitalization. So what I suggest is each and every person should leverage this platform, because communicating through this platform is just a click away. It's just a button away. You say hi, you send, and you can communicate, right? Everyone working has a Teams account or has, some internal chat of the office going on. So you can utilize that to communicate effectively. If you're stuck somewhere, just send someone a message. Hey, hi, what's up? What are you doing? You know what? I'm stuck here. Are you free for a quick call? Yes, that is possible. You can also research a lot before, you have to do something. You can communicate directly through office or your company's intranet. If you have a question, for example, you're unable to get access to something, what should you do? Go to your office intranet. So as we have Facebook, each and every company, each and every organization now has a global intranet. So global internal Facebook for them. I can term that. So you can just go out, reach out to people stating, you know what, I need your request or I need your help in understanding some topics. A lot of people will come forward. You can enhance your skills through communication, through digitalization. How is that possible? You reach out to someone, you just write a post, I need help. People will come up to you and people will be like, hey, you know what? I work a lot with this platform. Let me help you. People are ready to help you out. They reach out to you with a helping hand. It's just that we never take a step ahead to go and ask for some. So we should take a step ahead. We should understand, we should explore different facets of digitalization that are available. So I mean, with digitalization, I guess the world has definitely become a smaller place, and it is a boon if used and managed properly.
True. I agree. I think one thing even I believe is that due to digitalization, now you can just connect to any person anywhere in the world, and it's so very weird in a way that, it doesn't matter. Like, even now people join so many groups here and there, and you see 10 different countries, people coming together. And it's quite amazing. It's just like you said, it's as simple as starting a conversation with a hi, and that's communication in a way. You communicate, and now, and based on your skills and things, you keep it better, and so on and so forth.
Right, and of course, with a lot of things, there are a lot of groups. There are groups which are niche groups, which we call niche groups in terms of like media. So niche groups are like, so for example, a very random example, if someone is into painting, when we join that painters group, what we are doing is we are networking with people who are interested in the same topic as you are interested in. So like this, there is a community for writers, there's a community for tech guys, there's a community for PR guys, there's a community for bankers, there's a community for every other profession in this world. So, true. Or every other skill in this world. So digitalization definitely is effective in terms of networking and widening your horizons.
True. I completely agree. I think the key is for us as an individual to take the first step of understanding what you like. I'm sure people should know that by now. And B is to find such group and start the networking, like you said, connect with them, learn, share, and grow. Wonderful.
And LinkedIn is a very lovely platform for this as well. I mean, LinkedIn is all about networking. It is all about professional networking. The more you network on LinkedIn, the more you have your presence on LinkedIn, the more, you are interacting with the professional world. So I guess everyone should interact a lot on LinkedIn and build their presence on LinkedIn as well as Twitter.
True. I should add this as promotions for LinkedIn and Twitter, so they pay me for this. But thanks. All right. So, Pallavi, that's fantastic. Now we're coming towards the end of my questions. There's this one. It's sort of a personal question because people are always curious to know this. And what do you recommend? Any books, blogs, website? Tools, YouTube videos, I don't know, Twitter accounts, anything that people can, seek help when it comes to communication, apart from my own programs and other things. Do you recommend anything else? And on a serious note, do you have anything that, people can take away and go and read something?
There are a couple of books which I love. One of them, now that we talked about confidence at presentation, how to be confident in meetings. So there's this very nice book which is 100 Tricks to Appear Smart in Meetings. How to get by without even trying. So that's the title of the book, right? So I would suggest everyone to read that. So they will get an insight on how to, be street smart during your meetings.
Yeah, perfect. 100 tricks to appear smart in meetings. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. So there you go. So for all the viewers, it just clearly says that 100 tricks to appear smart, right? And thank you very much, Pallavi, for sharing that. And I'm sure there would be viewers who are going to read that, and also please do share your comments. Whenever you read it. I hope you do it within a week or two from listening to this video, watching this video.
There's one more which I would like to share. Right?
Please.
So I'm just finding the name for that.
Sure.
So again, a very nice book which I could resonate to with one of our questions as well. So that is a very interesting topic. Secrets of winning at office politics. How to achieve your goals and increase your influence at work. So that is also.
Could you again, if you don't mind, sharing the image?
Right. I already did that. So yeah.
There you go. A little behind. Yeah, perfect. Secrets to winning office politics, and it's by Marie somebody. Perfect. That's good enough for our viewers to capture it. Fantastic. There you go. So thank you, Pallavi, for sharing not just one but two amazing books that relates to office communication, and I'm sure people should read it. And please share your feedback and comments on that. All right. So with that, Pallavi, we are end of this amazing episode number 1, Communicate with Impact. I really, really, really want to thank you from my bottom of my heart to be the first guest. It's always very, very challenging. Though I've done 70 episodes earlier, but that was a different thing altogether. So thank you very much for being the guest. And I know it's Friday evening at your place, and it's Saturday morning in Melbourne here in Australia. This again shows how two people who are born from India, now working in two different countries altogether, north and south in a way, and coming here to communicate and share knowledge and wisdom to others. So, Pallavi, once again, thank you very much, because these things are going to impact eventually many who are going to watch your episode and, your feedback and comments and other things. Just one last question. Is it okay if people can connect with you on LinkedIn, and if they have any queries with respect to your topics or anything related to communication, I hope they can query you there. Is that fine?
Of course. I'll be more than happy with helping people in my niche. So for sure, why not? And especially your audience, definitely.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for showing the love towards my audience. And for everyone, I'm going to put across Pallavi's LinkedIn profile. Connect, and that's first step to connect. And networking, if you want to network, make sure that you're in touch with her as well. All right. So thank you very much, Pallavi, once again, and have a rest of the evening. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you so much for inviting me to your show. I am obliged, and it was always fun interacting with you. Hope to see you soon. And thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.